Jim Friedman is a serial creative entrepreneur. In addition to his broadcasting ventures, he has created national marketing campaigns, been granted multiple patents, written books, written, recorded, and performed music. Since 2008, he has taught creativity and marketing at Miami University, and he is the chief steward of World Creativity and Innovation Week and Day. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Friedman, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and good to be here with all of you. I have the pleasure tonight of introducing our keynote speaker. Bridget is a writer, comedian, and the host of Walk-In's Welcome podcast and the weekly Dumpster Fire show on YouTube. She describes herself as politically homeless, and as such has gained a large number of listeners and followers who are in the same boat. Now, she interviews moderates and thoughtful guests to provide nuanced conversations in today's increasingly polarized world. As a comedian with a colorful past, Bridget gives her listeners a welcome laugh to lighten the mood. Now, her love for creativity and innovation runs deep, right down to her name, which she created and defined herself. That's where I got that. Her talk is titled Courage and Creativity, How Guts and Crazy Ideas Can Lead to Happiness and Fulfillment. And without further ado, I'm going to turn over this virtual floor to Bridget Phetasy.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much. Okay, deep breath. In the spirit of creativity, I have to be forthright and say I had some idea of a talk I wanted to give, and then I started writing after I was looking at everybody for the past couple of weeks and what they do, and looking at their work and learning more about everybody that I'm about to interview. And out of the void came this thing that I'm just going to read, because writing is really how I communicate most effectively, probably more effectively than anything. I really, first of all, thank you, Holly, and the entire World Creativity and Innovation Week family for asking me to host this opening night. It's an honor and a privilege to speak to folks working to bring beauty and love and innovation into the world. It's aspirational, and it moves me truly to see what so many of you are doing. After all, this is one of the things that humans get right. Being human is messy, and we get a pretty bad rap, deservedly. We can be selfish and petty and spiteful and grateful and generous and affectionate, all in the same afternoon, in a trip to and from the grocery store with our loved ones. We are complex, capable of immense self-sacrifice and catastrophic self-delusion. But as I've spent time researching the people we are about to get to know and their work, I found myself feeling the same way I felt when I am at the symphony or gathered at a music festival with thousands of other people enjoying music and singing together, or standing in front of a great work of art or architecture. It's the awe-inspired when we see a successful rocket launch, or the emotion that bubbles up in our hearts when we see a viral video of a small act of kindness. It is why we are inspired by the hero's journey, whether it's in a movie, in a story, or our own lives. We all have the capacity to create. It is our birthright as humans, whether it's a child or a beautiful meal or a funny TikTok video or a solution to relieve someone else's suffering. Every day we wake up and we are participating in the act of creating our life and the lives around us and the world around us. And I'm convinced that if we don't use this creative energy we are given constructively, we will either self-destruct or project that destruction outwards. I know this because for many years that was my story. I couldn't get out of my own way. I was trapped in a cycle of victimhood. I was completely lost. I knew I wanted to pursue a creative entrepreneurial path, but I didn't have the guts or even know where to begin or how. I told myself to take the safe path, the path that other people told me to take. It felt meaningless, and eventually I experienced my first of many epic failures. I failed out of college and ended up in rehab. The experience was humbling and also liberating. In that failure, I found freedom, freedom from expectations, freedom from fear. And rising out of the ashes of my first of many rock bottoms, I found resilience. I found an inner strength I didn't know I had. I found the importance of laughter, even in the darkest moments. I found the path not taken and the courage to take the path wherever it might lead me. It was out of this crushing disappointment in myself that I began to build, but it would take years to find my footing. Years before I could remove toxic substances and people I'd come to rely on. Years before I stopped making excuses for why I wasn't doing this or that. But slowly, as I kept taking risks, as I continued to create, as I continued to treat life like a giant game of improv in which you enthusiastically say, yes, and the path materialized before me like magic, born of fierce determination, delusions of grandeur, luck, and boring old hard work. The three most valuable lessons I've learned on that path are: one, the path is never, ever what you think. Two, take the work seriously, but don't take yourself seriously. Three, it's not about me. I want it to be about me, but it is not about me. And in the moments when I'm asking myself what it's all for, it's always a kind email from somebody, or somebody smiling or laughing, or somebody telling me that I make them feel like they're not alone, that I'm reminded none of this is about me. It's about surrendering to the process, that creative intelligence that whispers in all of our ears and tells us to dream, to reach beyond our comfort zone, to venture into the unknown and be changed. Yes, we humans are messy and violent and destructive, but we are capable of truth and beauty and love. All of the people I'm about to interview aspire to bring these principles into the world. They've made it their life's work, and often it has come at a great cost. Out of loss and pain and suffering comes creativity, innovation, life. We cannot underestimate the capacity of creativity to change environments, individuals, and minds. Creativity changes the world. It is our superpower. And the hero's journey is right there waiting for us if we dare. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to talking to all of these wonderful, brilliant, creative, inspiring minds who have moved me just by learning of their work.